National League, and a lot of our guys, it took us a while to get within game shape.
Iman Shumpert tries screen and roll with Stoudemire, turns it over. Dominique Jones, stripped by Smith. Terry keeps it alive for Dallas, and Dirk joins the play for three.
I tell you, when he first came in the league, and in the early 2000s, you had to guard him right there. And any time that he came across half court, we had a rule: you had to go pick him up at half court. We would not allow that because he's coming back to that now since he's had a knee problem. You've got to get him beyond that three.
Novak, a terrific three-point shooter off the mark. Nowitzki has Odom leaking out. 4-2, and Dallas has gotten its offense back going, and the Knicks went stagnant on the offensive end with Lin out, and it's a 9-2 Mavericks run.
I like the timeout. Smart basketball. We know that Dallas has been in this situation many nights. Friday night, they were down 14 at Philadelphia at halftime. Came back with a great second half. Now, here's Dirk at his best. Anytime that he gets out that three-point line, you must close him down and force him to dribble the ball. Once again, there's the leak out for Dallas.
ESPN's NBA Sunday Showcase on ABC. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Top 20 all-time NBA scoring list. You see his progress towards the Chief, Robert Parrish. He talked about reaching the summit and now trying to restart it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fun. I mean, just because I reached my goal, that doesn't mean I still have the fire. I think I still want to win. I love to win. I love to compete still, and I'll definitely want to get back to the level I was last year. So it was a long road for me back. I didn't expect it was going to take that long for me to get back to where I was, but I'm happy that the time's over.
And the Mavericks have turned it around as Dirk has turned it around. Amari Stoudemire up to finish as the Knicks put Jeremy Lin back in the game, and New York stops the 9-2 Dallas run.
Well, you have to understand who you have in there right now if you're the Knicks. You've got to go to Stoudemire. Now, once again, Brandon Wright has been taking advantage of his limited minutes off the bench. He has stepped up there in the last month, making extracurricular moving without the ball moves, and everyone is looking for him. You have him as a defensive assignment, you better pay attention.
Out off the Knicks, it'll be Dallas ball. Right in his fourth year out of North Carolina. He was the 8th pick with Charlotte, and then on draft night trades ended up getting a start with Golden State first couple of seasons. It's a Dallas team that has a lot of different pieces from the championship team a year ago. That guy was great in the fourth quarter of the finals, wasn't he? Jason Terry knocks down the three to tighten it to a 2-point game. Dallas is without Delonte West, had an ugly injury to his finger, dislocated finger on his right hand, but the lefty will still be out 4 to 6 weeks. That's a big loss.
Yes, it is. He's not only is a three-point shooter, he's also an excellent defender and an 85% foul shooter.
Lin was short. That shot's off the mark. And back come the Mavs.
Mike, the Knicks are doing a great job in second chance stands.
Nowitzki goes to the basket, gets Dallas even at 34.
Anytime you run transition, 3-on-2, 4-on-3, look for the trailer down the middle of the floor.
He's aggressive with the traps on Lin. Found the right man in Jeffries, and there goes Stoudemire.
When you get trapped as hard as Jeremy's doing, take it out to half court. Then when you make your next pass in that situation, you could see they had a 4-on-3. It was easy.
Lamar, short on the three. You think Odom's comfortable yet with Dallas?
Well, he's getting there. He's improved his conditioning. We all know that got off to a very slow start coming into camp out of shape, and then also the fact that there are very few minutes because when you put him in a game, you got to go without a center then if you're going to keep Nowitzki in there. This guy is playing great right now. He's had a solid first half.
Landry Fields has hit all 4 field goals that he's taken. He has 9 points. The Knicks starting backcourt, Lin and Fields at 19. Amari Stoudemire with a couple of hoops inside.
Well, you like it there. Anytime that they go and that you have another player opposite you, you hit in, you got a triangle 3-on-2, and then Landry Fields has been great off the dribble.
It's a problem as old as gaming itself. Stay home and just keep playing. Or get to work on time so your coffee breath boss doesn't ride you like a rented scooter. Who says you have to choose? PS3 stays home, but the game goes with you. Never stop playing. PlayStation Vita.
You can't deny the power of
14-6 here in the second quarter. 4-point lead for New York. One of two meetings between the champs and the Knicks this year. Nowitzki able to get it to rattle home. Hubie, he's 5 of 8 shooting here today.
Well, you can see right there. If you're not going to bring the double team, I'll put it on the floor. If you give me space, he created space, and then the fadeaway. That's one of his favorite moves.
Tuning in, Jeremy Lin has not turned it over. 4 assists, and the Knicks have been better with him on the offensive end on the floor. Here the Mavericks zone, giving them problems. Shot clock down to 2. Lin on the penetration. And his last touch by Dallas.
So you have to be very observant now when you're the point guard and you come up the floor. Now, if you're going to run pick and roll game, you have to see whether they're playing a man-to-man and trapping, or are they in the 2-3 zone and just switching. There's a big difference.
Tied up to be a jump ball as they got into that middle spot of the zone.
Well, they realize that Stoudemire is the only guy that's going to score in the painted area in the post-up. Now, on the last 2 possessions, they double-teamed him on the 2 possessions ago, played him front and back, and discouraged the pass. Now, on that situation, they had an advantage because of the trapping of Lin and the ball movement, but as soon as that pass went into Amari, they had 2 guys on him.
Tyson Chandler comes back in, so does Brandon Haywood for Dallas. The starting centers return to the game. Stoudemire got up and won the tip. And Fields on the twirl. Amari got the rebound from Dirk and threw it down.
See, early on we told you that the Knicks can hurt them on the board. Right now, they have 11 second chance points. That is a ton.
Difficult time for Amari, as you've probably heard. His brother passed away, killed in an automobile accident. Returned to the team earlier this week. Terry threw it away. He got caught up in the air with nowhere to go. And it's New York ball.
Well, you always tell players, if you're going to leave your feet, make sure you're going to shoot the ball first. Because if you're going to pass first and they cut off the time, they cut off the passing lane, it usually ends up in a turnover.
When Lin went out at the start of the second quarter, Hubie, we saw Iman Shumpert come in and play the point. The Knicks were nowhere near as effective offensively. This is a better role for him, kind of a combo guard.
Look up now. See, they release a guy on those long jump shots.
Jason Terry knocks it down.
I think they have a few guys who've played a few minutes here and can score. So anytime you take a long jumper, they're releasing that guy. And now if you shoot and miss in a long rebound, they're out in the open floor. Nice move.
Fields passed it, Chandler couldn't finish, and Haywood goes to get it for Dallas.
Yeah, that was a shame because that was a strong move. Remember the bench points by Dallas. They're second in the league to Philadelphia.
Lin on the takeaway
nice.
to Fields.
I like that. I like the fact that Lin understood, hey, Fields is having a great half, not only off the dribble, but defensively reward him.
Nowitzki, quick turn on Stoudemire. Good defensive help. Fields on the push. Knicks have numbers. Lin in traffic. Saved by Fields. That was another example of what we saw with Lin a couple of times when he gets in traffic, whereas against other opponents in his college days, he could finish. The defenses are bigger and quicker to collapse when you penetrate.
Well, I like what he said yesterday, and that is that he learned so much Friday night because he drove into the paint, left his feet, and then either crashed into people or multiple turnovers, and he had 9. He said, I learned a great lesson. At this level, you have to be able to shoot it in that area or make the pass.
Landry Fields just trying to do what you said earlier. Iman Shumpert was trying to do, crowd Dirk Nowitzki. He was crowding, Dirk forearmed him away, and the foul was called on Fields. So Shumpert comes out, and J.R. Smith comes back in for the Knicks. Hubie, what the Knicks are in this run where they won the 7 straight games and then lose to New Orleans is not what they're going to be in a few weeks. You add J.R. Smith, Stoudemire was out for a good stretch of that. Carmelo Anthony's going to come back. So roles, not just Jeremy Lin, but the other guys who were doing a lot of the stuff that you love that the Knicks were missing, they're going to be in different roles.
Absolutely. And then what will happen is people's shot attempts will come down, and then also angles. You have the coaching staff has got to come up and say, okay, hey, we're going to get our 3 best shooters, high percentage shots in their best areas, and then feed off of that. Now you have a point guard now who can make things happen in Jeremy Lin.
Tyson Chandler was stung as he landed awkwardly on the way down as he got hit by Haywood.
I give Haywood a lot of credit there. He went for the shot block, and unfortunately, he didn't leave his feet. He didn't leave his feet, so you had to have the body contact in the head, in the neck, and in the shoulder area. Now this guy right here, we can talk about MVPs, but Tyson Chandler has just been magnificent. Rebounding, shot blocking, moving without the ball, and creating great passing lanes for Lin to get in the dunking game. He leads the league in field goal percentage at 70%.
You can see the way he braced himself with those wrists, his wrist really bothering him. No effect on that first free throw. Well, tomorrow's President's Day, so we have a special edition of the NBA over on ESPN. Atlanta will take on Chicago. The Bulls have been atop the East for most of this run, but lost at home to the Nets. Derrick Rose has been out. New Jersey with a very nice effort yesterday. So the Hawks and Bulls coming up on ESPN tomorrow, 4 Eastern time.
Now, all of a sudden, everyone has forgotten about Hamilton with Chicago.
Richard Hamilton,
because we all know that he's a 15 to 18-point scorer, and he also has been out.
Yeah, he has not played at all. Rose and Hamilton, very few games together, yet the Bulls have built a good mark. Marion on the curl. He's long, but he's got his own rebound. Haywood.
Well, Haywood very seldom is involved in the offense. He's like an afterthought. When things break down, they go to him. But remember, 7 foot, he's carrying a ton of weight in there, and he can hit those baby hooks.
Part of a 3-headed monster trying to replace Tyson Chandler, who as a center physically and mentally gave such a defensive edge to the championship team from Dallas. Lin got in the lane, connects over Jason Kidd, and Jeremy Lin tops the scoring sheet with a dozen for the Knicks. 5 assists, no turnovers. Marion tied up by Lin. Jump ball is called.
I like what Jeremy Lin just did at the other end. Once he gets down in that painted area, we call it the mid-range game. If you do not play him, just watch it. He goes by Kidd. He can take it up. Remember, 6'3", 240, and you can see he's been pounded a number of times in his first half, but he just keeps on moving, and he can score the ball in that painted area.
Jumping with John Marion, and of course the Knicks win the tip, and it brings the reaction from the crowd. The New York crowd has fallen in love with what he has done these 2 weeks. Stoudemire. One club too many. He'll stay down here with the Knicks on the other side of this timeout. Under 3. And the story continues. The best defensive team along with the Lakers that he's played. A lot of defensive attention and a good job so far by Lin.
We'll be joined by a special guest to Jeremy Lin, his high school coach from Palo Alto High in California, Peter Strickbenbach. Now, describe what Linsanity is like in the hometown of Palo Alto.
I mean, the best way I can describe it is it's like a World Series win and a Super Bowl all put together. Everybody's just so excited.
It's been well documented that Jeremy wasn't really recruited out of high school, not well known in college. In fact, he told me he was 5'3" his freshman year in high school. What kind of potential did you see in him as you coached him?
Well, he came in with just an incredible feel for the game. So we knew he had that, but we had no idea he was going to grow up to be this size and athletic as he is. I mean, he's a professional athlete now, and we had no idea that was going to happen.
He was also quite honest and said he described himself as, quote, arrogant and selfish until his junior year in high school. When he broke his ankle, he did, and he said he changed. How did he change?
Wow. I think he's being a little hard on himself. I mean, he was never